The Rock Lake Terror, from the August 31, 1882 issue of The Lake Mills Spike. Read by Frank Blissett. Again has the lake monster been seen. On Monday evening last, as Ed Mackenzie and D.W. Siebert were rowing a race out near the first bar, they discovered on the surface of the water, a little in advance of their boats, what they supposed for a moment to be a floating log, and the latter called to the former to look out and not run into it, and at this moment the object manifested life, and reared its head about 3 feet out of the water, opened its huge jaws about a foot or more, and dived out of sight. Almost immediately its head was thrust a couple of feet into the air close beside Ed's boat. "Strike him with the oar!" yelled Mr. Siebert. But Ed screamed with terror, stood up in his boat, and called ashore for help. "Bring a gun! Bring a gun! Here's a big thing out here! Come quick!" was what Wilson, Lund, and others at the steamer landing heard him say. Captain Wilson seized his shotgun and jumped into the swiftest boat, and soon reached the frightened rowers. He saw the place at which the monster went down. The air all around was heavy with a most sickening odor. Ed was white as a sheet, his teeth clattering. Siebert said he didn't want to row any further. John Lund said he could from the shore distinctly see the animal. He said at first he thought it was a man struggling in the water. Ole Hurd, from the same position, thought it was a huge dog. Ed Mackenzie said it was fully as long as his boat, and somewhat the color of a pickerel. He says, "Let them talk about striking it with an oar or anything. There isn't one of 'em would do it if they'd see it come up sudden-like, with its mouth wide open." This serpent has quite a history. Mr. R. Haslam saw it about 15 years ago in the rushes. At first he thought it was the limb of a tree. On closer observation, he saw it was a thing of life and struck it with a spear, but could no more hold it than an ox. Mr. Harbeck, now of Waterloo, who formerly resided across the lake, frequently saw the saurian while rowing back and forth. On one occasion it hissed at him just as he was entering the rushes. Fred Seaver, Esquire, has encountered his snake ship twice. On one occasion the monster seized his trolling hook and pulled his boat along over 1/2 a mile at a rushing speed before he let go. Last week it seized John Lund's troller, and in attempting to pull it in, the line, before breaking, cut entirely through the skin of his finger. That was The Rock Lake Terror, from the August 31, 1882 issue of The Lake Mills Spike. Read by Frank Blissett.